Today's WGAN Forum Podcast is for Matterport service providers. How the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, a literal mini-city, has been leveraging cutting-edge technology to operate more efficiently. But here's the twist. We're focusing on their use of 1,500-plus Matterport scans in the mix of it all. Dan, I know you had the chance to witness this transformation firsthand at Geo Week 2025. Aside from the single-digit temperatures and snow, can you tell us what it was like?
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. Geo Week, which took place in mid-February in Denver, is essentially a crossroads for everything geospatial and built environment tech. It's not just a conference; it's an expo where you see the leading edge of technology that's redefining industries. What stood out this year were three sessions centered on the digital evolution of the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW as we'll refer to it, to make operations more seamless, sustainable, and data rich.
And it's interesting, right? Geo Week has this wider focus on geospatial solutions, but it's also where you start to see how these tools are actually being applied in real-world scenarios. DFW, for example, is this rapidly growing hub, responsible for handling millions of passengers, and nearly 2,000 aircraft fly in and out daily of the fifth busiest airport in the world. It really seems like the perfect testing ground for a lot of these advanced tech innovations.
Exactly. Across the three sessions, first the keynote, then two deeper dive sessions, the DFW team detailed how they've integrated technologies like dynamic digital twins, which bring all different types of data into one operational workflow. For example, the entire Terminal D and key infrastructure areas have been scanned and integrated into the DFW digital twin and GIS mapping systems. Matterport is one of the 3D scanning tech used to document assets and spaces and actively enhance how those assets are managed within the DFW aggressive expansion and modernization agenda.
Matterport feels like a natural fit with DFW's operations. I mean, you take a sprawling infrastructure like an airport, add literally thousands of assets, rooms, equipment, terminals, and you're dealing with something so complex that paper basically becomes useless. And at Geo Week 2025, it sounds like this all came to life on the stage, right?
Oh, very much so. The visuals and workflows they shared were just as impressive as the tech behind them, Eric. But what made it all click for me was the discussions around how they're setting standards, whether it's integrating live IoT sensors or creating models that can predict maintenance needs. It wasn't just about showcasing what they've done, but also what's possible. And Matterport is integral to that tech stack story.
All right, I'm sold. Let's dive in deeper and break it down for our listeners. Coming right up, we'll explore the foundation of the DFW digital transformation, digital twins, and how Matterport is playing a pivotal role. Stick around. All right, as we teased earlier, it sounds like Matterport is absolutely central to the DFW digital transformation. Dan, let's break down exactly how this platform is being used to create and refine those digital twins we heard so much about.
Great question, Eric. So Matterport serves as a cornerstone in the DFW approach to creating dynamic digital twins. It starts with their ability to capture ultra-detailed 3D scans of physical spaces. I could imagine, Eric, the DFW may add SimLab SimOn to enable overlaying those Matterport scans with other data sets, things like building information models, IoT sensor data, or even historical maintenance records via the SimLab SimOn integration with IBM Maximo. That fusion creates a living, breathing model of the airport's infrastructure, enabling teams to see and interact with their facilities in entirely new ways. DFW using Matterport plus SimLab SimOn integration is just me speculating. That said, DFW is already doing real-time IoT sensor data overlays of other digital twin platforms. So Matterport plus SimLab SimOn seem like a great way to add value to the 1,500 plus Matterport scans of DFW.
That's incredible. So we're talking like a complete digital replica of a terminal or a room down to millimeters?
Exactly. And the use cases are immense. One standout application we saw at Geo Week was asset management. For instance, with Matterport, you've got unique URLs for every scanned space, including specific rooms or even individual assets within those rooms. These get tied into a GIS map.
Wait, URLs for rooms?
Yes, each Matterport asset or room scan becomes a linkable point of reference. So technicians or planners can click directly into an area from the map and see exactly what's there. It's a visual aid that marries perfectly with the DFW operational data. And for a place like DFW with over 250,000 endpoints being monitored, that level of access and clarity is super amazing.
No kidding. It sounds like it eliminates so much guesswork. But there's another aspect I want to dig into. Predictive maintenance. How does Matterport factor into maintaining critical systems like HVACs or even passenger boarding bridges?
That's an excellent question, Eric. Here's how it works. Matterport comes in at the documentation phase, essentially capturing as-is conditions of assets such as the boarding bridges. From there, other scans feed into the larger building information model. Within that model, they overlay data from predictive algorithms or ongoing IoT monitors for things like structural wear, temperature fluctuations, or abnormal usage patterns.
So you're saying if an HVAC system is showing signs of wear, the digital twin could predict when it might fail.
Precisely. And not just predict, it pinpoints issues with visual accuracy. Teams can virtually inspect the problem beforehand using the Matterport scans. So when they do go on site, they're prepared with the right tools and resources. That level of proactive planning significantly reduces downtime and costs.
It's like you're streamlining everything, from diagnostics to repairs. That must have come across loud and clear at Geo Week. Any examples they shared that really stood out?
Absolutely. The DFW team highlighted scenarios with the passenger boarding bridges, critical for flight operations. Using Matterport scans, they could prioritize maintenance based on predictive insights. Say there's wear on a wheel bearing. DFW teams know exactly which bridge needs attention and can even estimate the required downtime. It blew me away how they're combining digital tools with traditional maintenance workflows so seamlessly.
Mind blown. The potential applications here seem almost limitless. I can't even imagine doing all of that without digital twins. It's almost like it'd be impossible.
Right. It really illustrates how critical these technologies are becoming. DFW isn't just using this for flashiness. They're solving real-world challenges at scale, and Matterport is playing a vital role in it.
It's inspiring stuff. I mean, who knew Matterport's scanning of houses for sale could evolve into something this impactful? All right, let's keep this rolling. More on how DFW is pushing the boundaries of integration. Coming up next. Dan, the use of Matterport at DFW is already incredible, from digital twins to playing a role in predictive maintenance. But I know there's another angle where this technology is making waves: environmental sustainability. That sounds like an absolute game changer. What more can you share on that?
Absolutely, Eric. Sustainability is a major focus for DFW, and Matterport is a critical tool in their efforts to make operations more environmentally friendly. One area where this is really shining is their approach to improving aircraft fuel efficiency. At Geo Week, DFW representatives showcased how they're leveraging Matterport within their broader digital twin ecosystem to tackle inefficiencies head on.
Wait, fuel efficiency. How does that even connect to Matterport?
Great question. It starts with how aircraft are docked and serviced at boarding gates. DFW collects data on how these processes unfold, and Matterport's role here is in providing ultra-precise 3D scans of the gates and related systems. These Matterport scans and other related tech help teams visualize and correct inefficiencies like ensuring ground connections such as ventilation hoses and electrical hookups are properly aligned and functioning. Without those connections, planes often keep auxiliary power running unnecessarily, which burns through fuel.
So it's not just about avoiding wasted fuel, but also ensuring a better environmental footprint overall. That's impressive.
Exactly. And DFW shared an incredible statistic. By optimizing these workflows and ensuring proper connections using these visual aids, American Airlines alone could save up to $15 million annually in fuel costs just at DFW. And Eric, that's to say nothing of the environmental benefits in reducing emissions. It's a powerful example of how visualization tools like Matterport can drive big picture sustainability improvements.
Amazing. And it's not just inside the terminals or gates where Matterport comes into play, right? Weren't they also using it to manage landscape and outdoor spaces?
Absolutely, Eric. They've extended this efficiency-first mindset to landscaping and managing their surrounding environment. For instance, stormwater outflows around the airport are critical for maintaining clean and sustainable water sources. Matterport scans of these areas help teams track stormwater quality, monitor for contaminants, and take quick action when issues arise.
So you're talking about things like runoff management and ensuring no pollutants are leaching into nearby creeks and lakes?
Exactly. And DFW has set up IoT sensors across these outflows, enabling real-time monitoring tied to their digital twin system. The Matterport scans, meanwhile, create a clear visual context for what these areas physically look like, which is absolutely essential for decision-making. If there's an issue, increased sediment levels, for example, the team can reference the scans directly and visually confirm problem areas. I could imagine that the DFW team uses Cloud Compare with the before and after Matterport E57 files to see statistically the amount of change in the environment. For clarification, that's just me speculating how the change in sediment levels might be calculated.
It's so fascinating to hear how these tools, which you'd think are just for capturing 3D imagery, are influencing long-term sustainability goals. I mean, no one ever thinks about the hidden heroes behind environmental efforts like this.
Exactly, Eric. And the big takeaway here is that tools like Matterport are enabling teams to see their operations in ways they never could before, be it inside a terminal or out in the environmental landscapes. It's the ability to link digital replicas with real-world environmental outcomes that underscores how far this technology has come.
It really illustrates how a modern airport is not just about flights and logistics anymore. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. All right, Matterporters, coming up, we'll explore more of DFW's journey into innovation, including even smarter integrations with their digital twins. Stay tuned. Dan, we ended on how tools like Matterport redefine what a modern airport can achieve, not just in operations, but also sustainability. Let's dive deeper. How exactly are they integrating this tech to push environmental goals even further?
Absolutely, Eric. One standout example is how Matterport streamlines asset surveys and maintenance protocols, creating ripple effects in efficiency. Sustainability ties in because greater operational clarity minimizes waste, whether in fuel, time, or resources. DFW showcased this beautifully during Geo Week.
Interesting. So, streamlined surveys. Does that mean faster inspections or fewer errors, or both?
Both. With Matterport, DFW capture ultra-precise scans of spaces and even individual assets like HVAC systems or electrical panels. These scans then integrate into DFW's digital twin platform, providing visual references tied to asset data. It's super efficient for preventing small issues from snowballing.
That sounds incredibly efficient. And the environmental payoff here?
Huge. For instance, streamlined maintenance reduces unnecessary energy use by keeping systems like HVACs running efficiently. It's not just theoretical. Metrics from DFW show noticeable cuts in operational costs directly tied to better maintenance, and that leads to reduced carbon footprints.
Ah, I see. But let's zoom out from assets for a second. There's also landscape and water management, right?
Exactly. Using Matterport, DFW drafted scans of stormwater outflows and surrounding areas critical for clean water monitoring. This extends their digital twin ecosystem outdoors. And again, me speculating about what's possible. For example, imagine using Matterport plus SimLab SimOn for real-time IoT sensor data overlays, along with the actual existing GIS overlays to prevent environmental impacts like sediment or pollutant runoff into Texas water systems.
Okay, but how does that data make its way into decision-making? Speaking of dynamic integrations.
It's simple yet powerful. The DFW team can visually vet problem areas and cross-reference them with contaminant alerts from IoT data sensors. Those scans deliver clarity so field operators address the exact issue, preventing guesswork or waste. And long-term, this approach supports the DFW commitment to sustainability goals.
Amazing, Dan. It all seems so fluid, like everything's connected. Oh, one more element. Eric's Insights Corner. Let's pivot for a moment. Have you noticed how digital twins in other sectors create modular solutions for infrastructure?
Absolutely, Eric. There's a fascinating overlap. One case involves modular construction for an entirely new rail terminal. The modular sections are built off-site like Legos and assembled into the terminal perfectly on site. DFW is also already doing this. I could imagine, and again, just me speculating, DFW using a Navis VLX3 wearable mobile mapping system plus SimLab stages, with its Procore integration, you have to track construction progress. That includes comparing each stage of the Lego-like construction to the BIM model to find problems before the problems scale exponentially in rework time and money.
All right, so modular, holistic, and hyper-focused on data-driven outcomes. The future is here, it seems. And for DFW, their game plan only gets more inspiring. Dan, what an incredible journey we've seen so far, from the DFW modular successes to their integration of digital twins, including Matterport. It's truly inspiring to see how seamlessly these tools are shaping DFW airport operations while advancing sustainability in such impactful ways. Let's dive deeper into the synergy and explore what's next.
Absolutely, Eric. I think what really stands out, like you said, is how holistic their approach is. The Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport shows that technology isn't just about convenience. It's solving real-world challenges at scale. And for anyone tuned in who's curious to dig deeper into this story, there are some great places to start.
Yes, if you found today's discussion as fascinating as I did, remember to check out more details from Geo Week 2025. You can head over to the We Get Around Network Forum at www.wegetaroundnetworkforum.com and search for the tag GeoWeek 2025. The WGAN Forum has all the insights there.
And, of course, the GeoWeek website itself, www.geo-week.com, is the go-to for anyone interested in exploring the broader implications of geospatial and built environment tech. Whether you're in the field or just a fan of innovation, you'll find a treasure trove of information there.
Oh, and don't forget about the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport either. Their commitment to transforming airport experiences is seriously next level. Learn about the airport and their leading-edge projects directly by visiting www.dfwairport.com. And you mentioned SimLab, SimOn, and SimLab Stages. Go to www.simlabinc.com.
Eric, I couldn't agree more. From operations to sustainability and everything in between, the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport is really setting an example for industries everywhere. It's a story worth following.
Thanks for spending your time with us. Whether you're a Matterport service provider or just curious and passionate about digital twins shaping the future of real estate today. And on that note, my friends, that wraps it up for today. And Dan, just one more thing. Your voice sounds a tiny bit different today.
Eric, yes, I am actually Dan's digital twin voice. AI was used to create our voices. To transcribe the 3 GeoWeek sessions, a second AI platform was used. A third AI platform was used to pull out the Matterport specific references among the 3 DFW sessions at GeoWeek. And AI was used to outline and then write the script for today's show using the session transcripts and Matterport fact sheet. Prompts were written by We Get Around network founder and managing editor Dan Smigrod. Dan also edited the podcast outline and podcast script before the AI produced the finished voiced podcast.
Thanks, Dan, or do I say Dan's digital twin? Incredible. 3 different AI tools and a human in the loop to create this podcast episode.
Thanks, Eric. For more on the AI tech and workflows for creating this podcast, go to wgan.info/Dan Smigrod.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the WGAN Forum Podcast.